You are not going to believe what's happening with Trayvon Diggs right now. And if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, this update might hit you like a blindside tackle. But hang tight, because by the end of this video, not only will you understand the full story, you'll know exactly why the Cowboys season might hinge on what happens in just a few months. Before we dive into this roller coaster of news, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on, because this channel brings you exclusive, in-depth updates every single day about your Dallas Cowboys. No clickbait, no fluff, just facts, analysis, and passion straight from the heart of Cowboys Nation. So here's the deal. Trayvon Diggs, arguably one of the most vital pieces in Dallas's defensive unit, is right in the middle of a recovery journey that has stirred up more controversy and confusion than anyone expected. This isn't just about a player healing from an injury. This is about the Cowboys' playoff dreams, their defensive identity, and the very real possibility that misinformation could lead to dashed expectations if fans aren't given the truth. That's why we're breaking it all down, piece by piece, to separate hope from hype. Let's rewind for a moment. Trayvon Diggs, drafted in 2020, didn't take long to become one of the most talked about cornerbacks in the NFL. His ball-hawking skills, insane anticipation, and ability to completely shut down elite wide receivers made him a nightmare for offenses and a dream for Dallas. In his second season, he exploded onto the scene with double-digit interceptions, a feat that reminded many fans of legendary Cowboys defenders from the glory days. It felt like Dallas finally had that defensive playmaker they'd been missing for years. But as football fans know all too well, greatness often walks hand in hand with heartbreak. And heartbreak came in 2023. Just 2 games into the 2023 season, disaster struck. Diggs went down with a torn ACL season-ending injury that sent shockwaves across the NFL. It wasn't just the Cowboys losing a starting cornerback. They lost the cornerstone of their defensive backfield, a vocal leader, and a game-changer whose presence alone altered how teams game-planned against Dallas. The timing couldn't have been worse. With high expectations for a deep playoff run, the Cowboys suddenly had to restructure their entire defensive identity without their star. While players like Darren Bland and Jordan Lewis stepped up in meaningful ways, there's no sugarcoating it. Losing Diggs hurt. Fast forward to now, and the NFL world is once again buzzing about Trayvon Diggs. But this time, it's not about what happened on the field. It's about what might happen off of it, or more specifically, when he'll be back on it. Whispers started to emerge in early 2025 that Diggs could be ready to return by training camp in July. That's where things started to get messy. Fans flooded forums, sports sites dropped speculative headlines, and social media took the rumors and ran wild. The optimism was electric, but was it real? Here's where the truth matters. Let's break down the facts. After his ACL injury, Diggs underwent what's known as a condyle tissue graft surgery, a procedure that not only repairs the torn ligament, but also addresses more complex cartilage damage. This isn't your typical ACL recovery. It's significantly more involved, more delicate, and often comes with a longer rehab timeline. We're talking 8 to 12 months at minimum. And considering Diggs had this procedure in late February 2025, a simple calculation tells you he won't be anywhere near game-ready by training camp in July. The math just doesn't lie. Yet somehow, despite clear medical evidence and statements from those close to the team, these comeback rumors keep circulating. Let's be clear, there has been no official confirmation from the Cowboys organization suggesting Trayvon Diggs will be cleared for full contact or ready to play by the start of the regular season. None. The only things we've heard from inside the star have been cautiously optimistic updates, words like progressing, working hard, and on schedule. But on schedule does not mean ahead of schedule. Even Jerry Jones, known for sometimes leaning into optimism a little too heavily, has made it clear that while Diggs is making strong strides in his rehab, there's a long road ahead. And to be fair, that's not a knock on Diggs at all. In fact, it's a testament to how seriously the Cowboys are taking this. Rushing a player back, especially one with this kind of long-term value, can do more harm than good. Dallas has seen firsthand how pushing timelines can backfire, and they're not going to let that happen here. Trayvon Diggs is too important to gamble with. So when can we realistically expect him back? Based on everything we know, from the type of surgery to the standard rehab protocols to insider reports, a return somewhere in late October or November makes the most sense. That would give Diggs enough time to complete the majority of his physical therapy, recondition for football activity, and work his way back into game shape without being rushed. It's not ideal, especially for fans who want to see him out there in Week 1, but it's the smart, sustainable approach. And here's the silver lining. If Dallas can stay competitive through the first half of the season, getting Diggs back in November could be like acquiring a top-tier player at mid-season, just in time for a playoff push. Imagine going into December with a fresh, fully rehabbed Trayvon Diggs locking down receivers while the rest of the defense finds its groove. That kind of late-season boost could be a nightmare for opposing offenses and a dream scenario for Dallas. Let's not forget, this team is hungry. After last season's disappointing playoff exit, there's a feeling around the locker room that they've got unfinished business. Dak Prescott has been playing with renewed focus. The offensive line remains a top-tier unit. CeeDee Lamb continues to evolve into one of the NFL's most dangerous wideouts. But the defense, especially the secondary, is what could make the difference between another early exit and a Super Bowl run. And that's why Trayvon Diggs matters so much. Meanwhile, let's talk about what this recovery process reveals about Diggs as a person and a player. You don't go through a major knee surgery and months of grueling rehab unless you've got grit. And everything we've heard from inside the facility says Diggs is showing exactly that. He's locked in, taking his time, doing things the right way, and staying focused on not just getting back, but getting better. That's the kind of mindset you want in a leader. It speaks volumes about his professionalism, his maturity, and his commitment to his team. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the so-called fake news that keeps making the rounds. Every day, there's another flashy headline claiming Diggs is ahead of schedule or suggesting he's been spotted doing full-speed drills. That's not just misleading, it's irresponsible. It gets fans' hopes up for something that's not medically sound or team-supported. And in the end, it does a disservice to both the player and the fans. This is exactly why it's so important to stick with verified sources and real analysis. There's no magic fix here. There's just hard work, time, and careful planning. While Diggs continues his recovery, the rest of the secondary will be under a lot of pressure. Guys like Darren Bland, who has quietly developed into a very reliable presence, and Jordan Lewis, who brings veteran poise and physicality, will have to hold the line. And let's not forget Kelvin Joseph. This could be a make-or-break season for him. The depth is there, but it's not the same without Diggs. He brings something special. A swagger, a presence, and the ability to flip a game with a single interception. So, what's the bottom line? Patience. That's what this situation demands. Trayvon Diggs is working his way back, and while it may not be as fast as some headlines would have you believe, it's the right pace. One that prioritizes his long-term health and the Cowboys' long-term success. If he returns around November and hits his stride, just as the playoffs loom, he could be the difference maker that propels Dallas deep into January football and maybe even February. And now, Cowboys Nation, it's your turn. What do you think? Are you feeling confident about Diggs making a strong return later this season? Do you believe the defense can hold up until he's ready? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I want to hear from you. This is a community built by fans for fans, and your voice matters more than you know. Make sure to stay locked in right here for all the latest updates.